Hello everyone, Felix here. Yeah, I'm finally live. I thought I was gonna have to do this silently because yeah, I thought I was gonna have to do that silently because there are still people at home. That's why it took so long. Cause hold on, give me a second. There we go. Yeah, it was taking a while. Chat is up. The chat is up. Anyways, so how should I say this? Like as you're well aware of, like, both, like, even for me, this is a really bad kind of delay. This is a really bad kind of delay, even for me. So, um, yeah, hi Clanker, hi Clanker, yeah. Late, yeah, this is really late for me. This is really late for me. That he hates Zoo. I hate myself today, man. You know, you know that scene from Metal Gear Solid 3 where Snake finally lands and starts the virtuous mission? And then paramedic tells him, "Yeah, you should be in the ICU. You should not be on a mission. You should be in the ICU right now." Yeah, that's kind of how I feel. I am I am working off of, I think, 3 to 4 hours of sleep. My dinner from yesterday was eaten at 9 a.m. today. I just had lunch. So that's like, it's honestly, I'm not proud of it. I'm really not proud of it at all because, like, I'm supposed to be improving my sleep schedule and everything. And meanwhile, like getting up at earlier times, going to bed at like consistent times, but like just such, it was just like for the past few days it's just been so terrible. Yesterday and the day before was like bad enough that it just, man, it's since we have cranked open the door for autism games, might I ask for Dwarf Fortress Vintage Story from the Depths Foxhole? Bro, yeah, I need help. That like, my lateness is a cry for help here. Um go to sleep, you are literally 12. Ah, shut up. But yeah, well, I did get sleep. I did get sleep. It's not a lot, but hopefully I can like crash correct that later tonight. Um, but anyways, in terms of autism game, I did get some sleep. I had like 3 to 4 hours, but I can I can function. I can function. I can function. Like, I didn't, like, I almost didn't stream today, like, almost, not just because of that, but also because I couldn't find anything to do. But and this one, so I have a funny story. This game crashed the last time I tried to do that. So um let's change that. Oh, hold on. Water maximum. Hold on. Why isn't it filling up? Hold on. Okay. There we go. Hold on. Let's there we go. I think in theory, imagine we're a pack of bandits that we just seized a steam train. Somehow we lost our horses, and then I don't know. I'm making up this story. We lost our horses in the Old West, and now there's a cavalry troop coming to apprehend us, and we only have this steam train that we're robbing. I don't know what happened to the engineer, but we need to get this running. So it can't be that hard. It's just like filling a tea kettle, right? Just like filling a kettle. Felix, shut up. January 28th, MLP the movie watch long. No, if I fix my life before then, I won't have to watch it with you, and that will be Valhalla instead. That will be Valhalla instead. Bro is basically telling a story of Dead Rails. Is it? I'm not familiar with Dead Rails. But yeah, let's hold on. Let's wait for the pressure to build up and the temperature. I remember I got this running once. I got this running before. I got this running before. I also, like it can't be like logically it can't be that hard. I mean, it's just you have to build up the pressure and like to have to maintain it. You know, you make sure there's enough steam coming out of here. But theory is not practice. And then let's very slowly. Pressure is high. Pressure is high. We don't want it to explode. But I think yeah, this. Hold on, it's working. There's steam coming out of the stovepipe, out of the chimney, out of the smokestack. I mean, hold on. Nope, that is just all on electrical power only, and we're just. Hold on. Hello 26. Yeah, that's terrible artists. There we go. Hold on. I think that'll be better for pressure. I think yeah. Water is off. And then if we just hold on. Engine speed is not very fast. Reverser is neutral. This is not going very far. Maybe I should... But the pressure, the engine pressure is still high. The boiler pressure. Like, it's funny because simply, like, we came up with this before the internal combustion engine. In theory, yes, an internal combustion engine is a lot more advanced, but this isn't, like... The way to start this thing is very complicated, and it's not very intuitive. The starter max rev. I think we're draining the battery. We don't have a battery, but still, it's like, hold on. If we close the throttle, water is off, drain is closed, previous set point disabled. Okay, so if we let it build up, like this, I have to keep my voice down. So if we let the pressure build up like this, the temperature, the steam temperature isn't going up for some odd reason. Actually, we open the throttle, it's not moving by itself. Hold on, max forward, max reverse. Oh, that's why. Okay, backward. Back is forward. So back is forward. I think we're like, hold on. We're emitting steam. We're not going very far though. Well, we have max. We have high boiler pressure. The limitation on internal combustion engine was machining precision, I think. Yeah, I mean it's. I can understand how you have to get the right air fuel mixture there on internal combustion engines. On turbine engines, it's similar because it's an air fuel mixture. Here, it's all a water medium, which is complicated because water mediums are inherently fickle, and you can't modulate that unless you have a lot of skilled people. You know, I had train games as a kid, but I never got into trains the same way I did aviation or cars or later on in life, like military stuff. I had a train game as a kid, but I didn't play it. I didn't play it very much. We're not achieving any engine speed, so 12 RPM. This isn't a train, this is just a steam engine, but we're pretending it's a train because that's exciting. Sorry, Felix, I must go. Play Railroader. Pascal and Nova, who have rated a couple times, they play Railroader a lot. I have I wouldn't know where to start because I'm not. Hold on, reverse or neutral. Hold on, what does this do? What? Let's leave it in. Hold on, what is... Oh, it's moving. Hold on. Starter, hold on. Reverse or neutral. Let's put it back in neutral. Max forward, okay. Okay, so we're moving backwards a little bit. Uh, okay, so boiler pressure has not gone down, but max forward boiler pressure has not gone down. Technically, this is an external combustion engine, but it's the piston is separate from is not involved is not directly involved in the combustion. Like, I get how they got to this first, because it is. Hold on, let's see if it maintains speed without use of the starter. Okay, there we go. Hold on. Max forward, max forward. We have more pressure coming through. We have more pressurized steam coming through. Hold on. Is it going? I am hands free at the moment. I am hands free at the moment. It's not going on its own. I'm wondering if it's affecting if the throttle is because I'm reducing the no, the steam pressure here. Previous set point disabled. Nope. Max forward. Somehow I have enough water to keep going. So water isn't a problem. Funny enough, you don't have to add coal either. It's this flame, it's this eternal flame that just keeps going regardless of. I remember I got like getting the engine speed. Hold on. Get the engine speed up. That there's the whistle. So it's all like, I think it's interesting that, unlike, besides the implication of the starter motor, everything here is entirely powered by steam itself, not connected to the engine, not by mechanical power, by like the hydraulic power or the pneumatic power of the steam itself. Technically, this is both. I think, yeah, pneumatic means air, hydraulic means water. Hydraulics usually refers to oil, like, or some kind of like a fluid that actuates the mechanics. But this is all, it's all heat. It's a heat engine, a pneumatic heat engine, I think. For bandits that have captured a train, we're not making very much progress. 150 RPM. Hold auto reset. So, can you just get out a piece of paper and do the mass and energy balance calculation? Mass and energy. Look, just because I went to a school for engineering doesn't mean I'm that smart. Mass and energy balance calculation. I'm doing this via trial and error. I got to where I was through trial and error. So we're good on the. Hold on. Actually, I have hold on. If we add more, hold on. Let's fill up the boiler. Let's fill up the boiler again. Pressure is up. Okay. Water temperature is high. Steam temperature is still at 300 degrees, which isn't very high, I think, and not high enough. Not enough. It's not carrying enough energy to push that rod. Max forward. Is this Brad trying to teach me mechanics? It's stuff goes in, stuff goes out. I'm trying to teach myself mechanics. Because, hold on, and then there we go. Maybe we have to open the throttle during one of the 16. It's still dropping. Reverser is neutral. Hold on. Let's make. Wait, whoa, okay. Whoa, okay. I think we're getting somewhere. Oh, we hold on. I think I just had the brake on. We're getting somewhere. I just had the brake on. Reverser, hold on. Let's reduce. I think we're going backwards. Let's reduce the reverser. The reverser gear needs to we were going backwards for hundreds of meters. And then negative reverse. Max forward. Okay, I think we're getting somewhere. There we go. We're going forward. I think we're going forward. I hope we're going forward. Reverser. Okay, so this is negative. There we go. There we go. Hold on. There. We're moving. We're moving. Negative 63, negative 64. Let's see how far this gear goes. It's a screw, but it's not a gear, it's a screw, but still. Okay, so steam temperature is still holding at 300, water temperature is holding. We are running out of water though. 74, 75, 81, 84, 87, 86, 88, 80. Oh, we're going 87, 88, 89, 90. Let's get it to 100. Oh, we're going faster. 91. Oh, no, that's going backwards. 87, 88, 88, 80. Nope, come on. You have to work with me here. Come on, engine. No, that just dropped. 82. Yeah, we're running out of water. Hold on. Okay. We need more water. Hold on. Let's decrease the heat. Yeah, we're getting somewhere. Yeah, to space. Slow down. Okay. Let's maintain the throttle. 83. Nope. Reverser 74. Nope. We're reducing it. We need to increase it. Nope. Hold on. Because I'm not facing that gear. Oh, hold on. This is finicky. Hold on. Water temperature. Okay, that's shut down. We're slowing down, but water temperature and pressure is slowly building back up. Hold on. Let me fix the reverser. 70? Nope. 65. Okay. Now we're turning it the right way. 80. Like, hold on. We're stopped again. Let's see. We need to bring this to a constant. Hold on. 65. Hold on. Let's fix the reverser while pressure builds up. Oh, we are getting somewhere. You had a fucking space. Slow down. 67. Hold on. No, 57. That's going down. There we go. 76. Nope. Come on. Because I'm not facing the gear. Yeah, hold on. I'm not facing the 81. Nope. Hold on. Yeah, let's wait for the pressure to build up again. Reverser 75, 86, 87, 97, 98. Okay, reverser is full reverse. Hold on. Okay, so we were going in reverse the whole time. So, okay, that's not good. We need to, before the pressure builds up, we need to reverse the reverser. Because I thought it says reverser negative. I thought we're going in, like, if it's negative reverse, you'd think it's going forward. So we've been going, hold on, we need to make it go forward. Okay. Reverser is neutral, and then full. Okay, that controls the direction the engine is moving. Full forward. Okay, let's wait. Let's wait for the pressure to build up and the water temperature. Oh, we just catapulted ourselves backwards for hundreds of meters. Anyways, hold on. I am hoping everyone is out of the house so I can speak freely. Anyways, yeah, let's you're hearing me blowing. Yeah, that's on my phone to get the water out of the charging port. That's what I've been using to monitor chat. Okay. Okay, so let's wait for this. While we wait, I guess I should say some stuff about what's going on. I guess mentally. Yeah, I did have there's an ancient clip that I have of Jelly playing this game where she goes on a full rant about like how she would run a country, her thoughts on Pippa and Pakistan and other elements. Like this is like literally 2 years old clip. Because it was recorded in 2024. But I have it. It's tucked away somewhere, but I have I might unironically release it after this one, along with some other clips that I have. Because Jelly, I think it's one of the longer ones because it goes on for I think 17 minutes. And Jelly just goes on a rant about multiple things. You know what I'm gonna do? Felix Humpley, shut up. Hey, nice to see that you're back, terrible artists. Am I running the train correctly? Because, well, I think I'm running it correctly. Full forward, max forward. So let's build up some. Hold on, while the pressure and the temperature builds up. Let's wait for that, and then let's wait for that to keep going. Okay, so the reverser is engaged. Starter is off, but we have to get momentum. Engine speed and max forward. I've been having these weird fever dreams recently whenever I got some sleep, both earlier today and several days ago. I was going to discuss it. During the COD stream, but I got so immersed that I didn't have an opportunity to. So the one I had recently was all these are really schizophrenic stuff. It's all I'm gonna honestly I would do a dream review. I would if you retell your stories that you had while sleeping, retelling those kinds of stories. Hold on. Okay, pressure, water temperature. I think we could afford for the water to be a bit hotter. But let's open the throttle now. Okay, we're moving. Let's keep the throttle at a healthy 15%. And max forward, we are moving. We are in fact moving. Hold on, let's keep an eye on the water level. So it is decreasing. Water is off. Pressure is slowly decreasing, so I think the water isn't hot enough. But we are, okay, as long... We are decreasing speed, but we are moving. Hold on, we need to get that, we need to maintain the water level while, we need to okay, heat, let's bring the heat back up. Water level is at, a constant drip of water. Hold on. We're losing water more than we're gaining, but we have to keep the temperature higher. Hold on. Isn't it normally that the pipe comes in up? Because if it was down, then it would increase. No, hold on. This is cold water. Yeah, hot water, hot fluids rise. So hot fluids rise. So it is normal for the water to be down there. Okay, so I think we can open up the throttle a little bit more now. I think we can open up the throttle. Engine speed, steam temperature is holding. Pressure is holding. Okay. We are losing more water. Hey, Felix, nice. What does an old Jelly clip have to do with your mental? Well, this Jelly, because she was playing this game. Jelly was playing this game specifically. I dreamed of Rosemi a while back. She was just ranting. Okay, hold on. We are maintaining speed. We are losing water rapidly. We have to, let's open up the water valve. Water temperature is holding. Pressure is holding. Okay, we are losing water rapidly. Let's give it all in. We are moving, which is a good thing. Water level is decreasing rapidly. We have full water, like we're pumping in more water, but we're losing energy faster than we can. Pressure is holding, water level is holding, water inlet flow rate. Why isn't the water flowing faster? Water inlet flow rate 0 cc per minute. Water 200 psi. Why is the Hold on. What if I open the throttle? No, hold on. I don't think that's changing anything. Water maximum 0 cc per minute. Why is that? Boiler pressure. Hold on. Oh, there's the steam temperature. Oh, steam temperature is gone because we're out of water. Oh, we hit max speed, but we don't have any water left in the boiler. Do you remember P times V equals NR? Pressure times is that pressure times velocity? Is the fire working at a constant heat input or as a constant temperature? That's a constant heat input, I think, because it's not listing the temperature. Do you remember? Is that pressure times velocity? I don't like meh. Hold on. Okay, so we are. Hold on. Boiler pressure is decreasing, but we are moving at a rapid rate. Hold on. So this is, I think, yeah, this is instantly. So water gets pumped in, it's instantly turning to steam. Hopefully this doesn't cause a boiler explosion, but I want to see what happens. Because we're going real fast. We're going real fast. Okay, so this is what the gauge meant. This is what the gauge meant when it with the reverser. So there's no water level inside. Maximum water temperature. Water level is 0. So So this is supercritical steam. I think this is supercritical steam. We're going places, man. We're going places. I think we're holding. Man, volume. My bad. But yeah, pressure is inversely proportional to the volume at a constant temperature. Inversely proportional. Yeah, I think. Yeah, that would make sense. Yeah, because of the Let's hold on. What if we close the throttle a little bit? That doesn't affect the speed. I think if we open the throttle too much, we're gonna lose all our pressure, all the pressure here. But we are maintaining. This is a maximum. Maximum's 819. We're 100 RPM off. But we are moving. Anyways, I think going back to the dream segment, I had an odd one. You know what? I'm gonna like. Do you guys think it's weird for me to have a dream journal? Do you think it's weird for people to have a dream journal and like save what they remember from a dream? We are decreasing in boiler pressure, but we are that's a helicopter. The train's going fast. Oh, hold on. Let me hear the audio for myself. I have a clogged ear right now. I should get that fixed. We are decreasing. Yeah, but that's we're going places right now. Hold on. Pressure is decreasing but holding. Wait, what's the point of this game again? So the point of this game is to work the steam engine. There's a list of achievements here. Let me check the Steam achievements. I have high vacuum, tried and tested steam lover, partial vacuum, speed demon, casual steamer, steam whistler, and break it in. I haven't reached speed devil. There's hardcore steamer, steam fanatic, time for a rebuild, run the engine for a million revolutions, and steam freak. So yeah, we've reached supercritical steam here, I think. But this well, yeah. The point is to go places in the is to keep this running and go places. That operating rod is that piston rod is I think like hopefully that doesn't break. I think this does model parts where we're hold on. Yeah, it's very what are we maintaining? Engine speed around like at like average at 815 RPM, I think, revolutions per minute. I don't know how that will translate into miles per hour or kilometers per hour, but yeah. I have heard conflicting opinions on dream journals from professionals. A shrink has told me to do it once. Heard a priest advise caution on dwelling too much on past dreams. Yeah, that's fair. But I like, which is fair. I do like don't let it affect you and everything. But personally, I keep it because I think it's good story ideas. It's interesting story ideas, or at least I feel like I feel like I miss something if I feel like I miss something. That's the point. That's the point of Damascus. Shut up. I feel like I miss something if I don't write it down. But the last one I had, which was earlier today when I woke up at an unhealthy time. Um, so that one, I was part of a. This is gonna sound very schizophrenic. Very schizophrenic. I was So part of the dream started. I think I was on a moon base of some kind, but it's like this really big moon base. This like the interior, this megalithic thing, and I think I was a younger version of myself, and I was with a family. There's like, hold on, let's check the water level. 0%. So there is very minuscule amounts of of liquid water in there before it gets super critically super heat oh why am I stuttering super critically heated into steam. Hold on, let's check that out. Supercritical steam, water under extremely high pressure above 3200 psi. This is the AI version, or 3200 psi. So this is not super critical. It's just being flash boiled. It's just being flash boiled. So supercritical and supercritical pressure, frequently used in the production of electric power. I think it's fun. I think it's funny that everything will devolve into a fluid medium when we finally achieve nuclear fusion. When we advance nuclear power plants, it's still gonna be a fluid. It's still gonna be a water medium. And there's never gonna be like a direct method to generate electricity. It's always gonna be a water medium that we're gonna pump through a turbine or a steam engine. It's gonna make steam, and it turns the wheel. It makes the wheel go around. It's a water wheel. It's like our human industrial technology is entirely centered around the water wheel. Even in internal combustion engines and like turbines, there is water inside the wheel, which is the turbine. So that's going places. Anyways, so let me like I have a process. I have a process for noting down dreams. So last night, so I'm on this was on this this lunar colony. We'll call it a lunar colony because simply calling it a moon base doesn't describe the scale. I was like in the interior of it. It looks like Black Mesa, like the transit system of Black Mesa, like megalithic megalophobia inducing structure with like the interior is sparse, but there's still a lot of people moving about. There's vehicles and everything. Megalithic interior. Oh, megalophobia phobia inducing interior, but a lot of people. Some kind. I think I remember. Ironically enough, there was some kind of tram. There was some kind of tram system that was bringing people around. Um, akin to Black Mesa, bringing people, bringing people around. I'm noting it down in a separate journal. People around, with a family. I was with a family, seemingly part of it. Uh, a cub, a middle-aged couple, middle-aged, a middle-aged couple, two children, a boy and a girl, and girl younger than me, and one old woman, and one older woman. I think. Okay, so that was happening in the dream. Hold on, let's see, let's check our pressure. Boiler pressure is water temperature is 299, marker 130 degrees Celsius. So that is let's keep the throttle where it is. Let's keep it going because we've achieved a functional steam engine. You don't see that every day. I remember that, and then how did I know it was on the moon? There was a Ukrainian old man that makes most energy generation is just spinning. In my experience, if you keep thinking of dreams, you tend to repeat them, so you get stuck instead of letting it flow to process the ongoings of life, as it were. I mean, I can identify certain elements, and I feel like that's how I evaluate my psyche. That's how I like in the absence of a therapist or someone else, like remembering my dreams and like trying to psychoanalyze myself, like remembering which parts come from where is remembering which parts come from where is valuable for like what sections of my life am I trying to suppress, what sections of my life am I trying to what sections of my life am I holding on to too closely to, what sections of my life have I forgot but still remain in my subconscious. Lunar colony, bro, is slightly acoustic. I am slightly autistic. Yeah, I think that affects my dreams, which in terms of materials is stupidly cheaper than photovoltaic solar panels. There's a Ukrainian old man that makes prototype mirror water heating based solar power generators. I'm aware of those. I know a lot of solar farms are concentrated not around photovoltaic solar panels, but reflecting around this gigantic boiler that produces steam and then runs the turbine. Which, I thought it was unwieldy compared to just dotting everything with solar panels, but having apparently that's a lot more efficient and cost effective. So that's based, I guess. That's really based. But going back to the dream, how did I know it was on the moon? So, I don't I don't psychoanalyze myself. That's for meatbags. So yeah, you're a clanker. Do clankers dream of electric sheep? Do they? You know, speaking of dreams and odd things, I want to get into Philip K. Dick as a I haven't picked up a book in a while. I feel like I should. I wanna get into Philip K. Dick's novels, Man in the High Castle, and Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep, and other elements like that. And I wanna see because I know that inspired a lot of fiction, and he's an interesting person. I've read Heinlein before. I've read Starship Troopers, but I want to see a more of Heinlein's work and really get into the minds of these authors because old like there is there's like such a marked difference between old like sci-fi of like the sci-fi of the 70s and before of like the 60s, the sci-fi of like there's different eras, but there's a noticeable like shift in between sci-fi. um there's a noticeable shift for like in sci-fi when it's no, like in between like pre and post Star Wars, like before it got made for television or something, before they used to be like these big expansive universes. The traditional model of sci-fi was standalone stories, meant purely for the speculation. They weren't intended purely for creating universes. They were intended as thought pieces on interest of the world, kind of like they're like the sci-fi and fantasy have often been grouped together, but the traditional science fiction story is centered around the traditional science fiction story, which also like falls under techno thriller and post-apocalyptic fiction a lot of the time, will fall under some kind like there's a side to speculative fiction that wants you to consider how the real world would be affected under the laid out made under the make believe conditions of the fantasy world. And I think that's a defining, like, and sometimes the lines are blurred. For example, Fallout. I've been talking a lot about Fallout on Twitter, like reposting a lot of stuff related to the Fallout TV show, which is doing terribly. I've stated before that Fallout is science fantasy. At its core, it is a dark fantasy, but you told using science fiction elements, and that I hold is true. But I would consider like stories like Canticle of Leibowitz to be science fiction, even if it is based around like religion, or even if it is centered around religion, or there isn't like too many sci-fi aspects, at least from my understanding. I would still consider it science fiction because it falls into the realm of speculative fiction. It falls into the realm of speculative fiction, or like what would happen to the Catholic Church after an apocalypse or something like that. Philip K. Dick's is like it's what would happen under these circumstances. And I don't know. That's like this is turning into a reader's rant. All because of all because of I mentioned Philip K. Dick once, and my last stream was about being on the lunar colony. But that was happening. All of that seems to be like the repair of like the first story of the King in Yellow, the repair of reputations, that I would consider science fiction more than fantasy. There are make-believe aspects of it, but it is still a vision of the future. Is still a vision of the future where technology and changing social attitudes have affected the well-being of life at the time, and that is the core of speculative fiction. That like a lot of them evolve into semi-fantastical universes. Like there is no element of there is no like I would not consider Star Wars to be science fiction. I would not consider Warhammer 40K to be science fiction. There are sci-fi styled elements, but those are clearly not science fiction in its intentions. Those are fantasy. Those are purely fantasies intended as like within its own contained worlds, and it, with that, like if and the same goes for like alternate universes. Hell, even like technically under this format, Ace Combat could be considered a fantasy. It like while Metal Gear is science fiction, while Ace Combat, because it takes place in a make believe world with fictional countries, I think has a greater call to being science, to being fantasy rather than science. Like I know it's a military aircraft game about planes and militaries and like guns and weapons like on the planes and like these giant super weapons and nukes and all that, but it's still being approached from a fantastical standpoint that is telling the story of a world that is inherently different to our own, even with similarities. It is a fantasy told using real world weapons, and that is that's what it is to me. And despite like And of course, there are works that blur the lines. Girls Front Line, Terminator is like started off as a sci-fi but evolved into its own franchise. I don't know. It's that's what I'd make of it, and I think like when it comes to people like Pippa has talked about how she doesn't like sci-fi, or she doesn't like which I think is idiotic. I have an entire clip and I discussed it in the past. It's probably one of my proudest streams because I'm willing to like discuss intellectual topics like that, and like Pippa's like why Pippa might not like sci-fi, why Pippa might not like why she prefers fantasy, and my criticisms of fantasy, and her takes on like the thing is, oh, there's the break stop. I'm not breaking. Let's keep going because we have a lot of coal. We have a lot of coal that we want to burn. I feel like Pippa prefers fantasy because she wants to be totally immersed, and she doesn't want to be attached inherently to the constraints of the real world. That is why I think she doesn't like on revaluation. That is why I think she does not like. And the thing is, like she doesn't like you're forcing her to get into things like you could not get her in like as much as I want to see Pippa play Fallout. I'm not sure if I could because like as much as I've said Fallout is a science fantasy. Again, Fallout is still science fiction in the way that it deals with political matters. It is not a satire, do not get it construed. It is not a satire. It is a speculation and commentary on human nature, which makes it science fiction. Mad Max, despite like Mad Max would under that purview would be considered science fiction, as would Metro, as would and despite the fantastic like the alien elements, or the supernatural fantasy elements of Stalker would still be considered science fiction because it deals with a real world and how humans would respond to it, like how human nature would respond to it. That is what I would consider science fiction. If it is meant to tell its own story without those regards, it would be fantasy. Hold on, let me check chat. It is a fantasy 100%. Thinking of H.G. Wells, I might have had a Watame dream at some point. Oh, let me check chat. Thinking of H.G. Wells, they're what nowadays we would consider, I think, as one shots, each giving a narrow picture of the world with a few specific different aspects from the present. Yeah, I like H.G. Wells' style of sci-fi in that era. Like a prince, meanwhile, a princess of Mars would be considered fantasy, despite being like dealing with other planets and aliens and that sort of thing. If it's on the Sci-Fi Channel, then it's science fiction. Like yeah, like it is fantasy 100%. Yeah, Ace Combat, like yeah, it has real planes and shit. But the super weapons and how the stuff happens, how the Ace stories play out, it's fantasy. Yeah, the Ace stories of Ace Combat, like the Demon of Razgriz, Trigger, Cipher, Pixie, all of it is absolutely fantasy in the way that it handles things. Like there's no like it is not meant to portray the real world in any normal sense. They're all fantasy stories told using modern military tactics. They are essential like the fact that your plane has a million missiles and can like that there a one man and one F-16 can in theory wipe out an entire field army, and that's how the characters in Ace Combat respond to you. That's how they treat you. They treat you as this legendary hero, like you're almost like an or like some kind of like they treat you as something supernatural the way that you fly, and that's why I feel like it is uniquely suited for that genre. The same thing with like similar things like Project Wingman. Like Project Wingman, it's focused on the mythos, like inspiring the mythos of a character, and that's how Ace Combat is meant to be played. You are not you are not merely a pilot. You are a demigod. You are a monster. You are a demon. You are an angel. You are the personification of something. You are a dragon with a plane sent to wreak havoc upon the world and then reclaim it for your nation. That is what Ace Combat is, and that's why it's a fantasy. And I am excited for Wings of Thief. I do want to see what happens in it because of the way it's being played. Um, Wings of Theater, like I get to see my like I love the F-14, but it's gonna be really nice to see the FA-18 be portrayed as the big hero. To be portrayed as the big hero in a game. I think it's built on the same engine as Ace Combat 7. Like all the graphics look identical, and there seems to be some recycled assets, but I think it's going to be on the same engine. I think it's going to be on the same engine. Um, Star Wars, no, Star Wars does deserve sci-fi, but because of subtle things, not the flashy stuff. For example, Uncle Owen wants to buy C-3PO to talk to the other machines on the farm, that the implication being computer technology has become so obscure and advanced that AI is needed to interface between people and machines to interpret human thinking into machine thinking. Yeah, that's fair. I mean, there are elements within Star Wars, like of course the Force and like in theory we could build blasters like instead of guns in real life. In theory, like blasters are essentially plasma guns. We could in theory build them in real life. We could in theory build a starfighter in real life because it's powered by ion engines. But there are some speculative fiction like there are some speculative aspects, but it is Star Wars is a retelling of the fall of the Roman Empire. It is a fantastical interpretation of the idea of like messianic fiction, of like a messianic religion in Anakin and Luke, and combined with the idea I say the fall of the Roman Empire, but it's like, well, the way Lucas was inspired by the fall of the Roman Republic in the prequels. The sequels didn't like they did. There's no real commentary there. It's all bullshit. But the prequels and the originals, there is a political undercurrent regarding it that I do. There is a political allegory regarding it that I am willing to give it credit as some level of science fiction. Like his depiction of the rebels versus the Empire, his depiction of you can really see that aspect. It's a lot more intense in and like I haven't seen I've only watched some of season 1 of Andor. I know it's most strongly present in Andor, and it's most strongly present in the prequels, and like the focus of how the Republic becomes the Empire, like basically being a retelling of Palpatine as Julius Caesar. Even though I think Palpatine is a far different person than Julius Caesar, that aspect is fascinating to me. He must played through Ace Combat 3 a few times. It's very solid sci-fi. The Japanese version he played has more storylines and endings. I'm hyped because the A6. They have the A6 Intruder. They have the A6. Oh man, I think yeah, because they can't have the A10 take off because it's all gonna be carrier based. Everything has to be a catabolic or VTOL. If I wonder if they're gonna add like the F-35B. It's probably like they're gonna have an F-35 and it's probably gonna be a C variant. I wonder if they're gonna have the F-35B or the F-35B or the Harrier, because that would be interesting. I know the starter plane is going to be the Legacy Hornet. Yeah, the Legacy Hornet is back. The Independence Day Hornet, as I like to call it. But the A6 Intruder is gonna be really interesting to play. Especially which is interesting because it doesn't come with a gun pod. It doesn't it never came with guns, but gun combat is a pretty integral part of Ace Combat. But the A6 was only ever equipped with air-to-ground missiles and bombs. It was never meant to engage other aircraft. But I wonder how they're gonna do it, because I know in Ace Combat 5 you were a naval unit. You were an Ocean Navy unit. The Unsung War, you were an Ocean Navy unit. And this one, in Ace Combat 8, you're going back to being a naval unit again. I know Mobius 1 from Ace Combat 4 was he started off as what is it? I'm trying to remember the country. It's not Erusian. They were fighting the Erusians. They weren't Ocean either. It's the continent. It's the continent. Hold on. It wasn't Erusia, it wasn't Osea, it wasn't Euthybania. It wasn't Belka either, it was something else. I'm trying to remember the Lighthouse War. Hold on. The Lighthouse War. Okay, yeah, Yuja. He was the Federation of Central Yuja. I think ISAF. Yeah, Yuja. Yuja. I'm calling it Yuja. Yeah. So Mobius One was Yujian Navy, who I think transferred to the Yujian Air Force after Kimona. Because he gets the F-22. I know Trigger was Ocean Air Force, and they stayed Ocean Air Defense Force, and I think this is all headcanon, but I know Count from Ace Combat 7 because he flies an Su-33. Like I know he switches to the F-15 later, but like because he flies an Su-33 as part of Spear Squadron, it implies that he was part of the Ocean Navy and that sort of thing. I have not like, and in Zero, of course, you're a mercenary. Going back to Pippa, something I feel like I noticed about Pippa, which is last stream. I think she's live right now. Ironically enough, like my thoughts on Pippa because I feel like she's. I love my Yoshi. I love my Kamiyoshi. Don't get it wrong. She'll always be my Kamiyoshi. I love you, Pippa. But she has this like unfortunate tendency to die on the hill, like what I said. Like my interpretation of Pippa, she likes to die on the hills of she likes to die on one side of a hill. She will die defending one side of the hill, and she doesn't know what the other side of the hill looks like. That is what is very frequent. Her her insistence, like going back to her insistence, like that of preferring fantasy over any kind of sci-fi. I find sci-fi very interesting, just as I find fantasy really interesting. But her insistence, she doesn't want like. I get it. She doesn't like political elements in her stories, which is fine. She wants escapism rather than the story itself. But she wants escapism over the story itself, but well, like over comment. She wants escapism over commentary, which is fine. But I think part of her reluctance to try any level of sci-fi related media is simply because like she got a bad experience from it once, and she didn't like it, and she decided never to try it again, which is a real shame, honestly. Like she's willing to do that. Her I think like her defending Joker 2 is another aspect of this because she doesn't have the context of Joker 1 and she refuses to gain that context of Joker 1. For the record, I've never seen Joker 2 or Joker 1. I'm never going to see Joker 2, but I might try Joker 1 at some point. But like her repeated insistence to never see Joker 1 so she can enjoy Joker 2. And her like again, I like. And this is gonna dip into political territory because the last stream she did was learning about the royal family, and like because she like died on the hill of defending Meghan Markle. I think like I don't care for the royal family. I think the Queen was interesting, and I think Prince Philip, may he rest in peace. He died, even though he died like I think 8 years ago by this point. Hold on, when did Prince? Like no, that was he died in the was it 2020? No, that was the Queen. I'm trying to remember the Prince Philip death. 2021. He died in 2021. I think Philip was based. I think he was extremely based. Like not because of who he was as a royal, but because he was so fucking unfiltered. Like I'm gonna go on like a side tangent. Felix talks about Prince Philip. I think Prince Philip was unironically like extremely fucking based. Like I wish like he's very Trump coded, very Trump like he and Trump would say some very funny things about each other, and then like they would insult each other, and then when they met they would like brush it off like old friends and have a beer. Well, Trump doesn't drink, Philip does drink, which is funny because I remember one of his quotes. He was at a banquet, like I tried to have Pippa watch Count Dankula's video on things Prince Philip said. I have my disagreements with Count Dankula a lot, but I think his videos are really good. His video on Prince Philip is really fucking funny, and he mentioned when Philip, well, there was like a royal banquet held in Italy, and the prime minister of Italy was offering them all these like expensive like high class wines, and Philip said, "Fuck you! I want a beer. Give me a beer. I want a fucking beer right now. I don't want this shit. Give me a beer." Like when they were eating, and he wanted a beer, and then when he was asked about like what he thought about being in the royal family, what he thought about being what his role as a prince and being like Queen Elizabeth's husband, he said, "I'd rather be in the Navy," which that is like, holy shit. I'd rather be in the Navy. Like that is balls. That is like brass balls. I tell you, I'd rather be in the Navy. That's yeah, and he said like, oh, he just said whatever he wanted. He like there was a comment when we were speaking to reporters about like, oh, what do you think about the Queen's health? You should see her naked. Like, oh, your skin looks like in good health. And then he says, yeah, you should see the rest of it. Like implying that he's seen her naked. It's just like, holy shit, man. But like the man could have been like, I don't care for like royalty or things like that. Like besides the cultural heritage of a country, like I'm like the politically I don't care about royalty. For the cultural heritage of a country, I think they're like if they have them, I think they're vital. Like for example, I don't care about like I think the French Revolution has was like highly problematic, yes, but I don't want the French monarchy to come back. I don't want like if a country has established itself as a republic, as a total democracy, that is a like that in my opinion is like that like a monarchy should not come back unless they were overthrown by like communism or whatever. Like I think like for example Cambodia, I don't think the Cambodian monarchy is necessary. I think the Thai monarchy is necessary, even though I don't like the Thai king. um Saudi Arabia and like the United Arab Emirates, like those countries, I don't care for their monarchies at all. I think they deserve a revolution. Like I guess I'm being very candid about my political thoughts. But the Shah, like the Emperor of Iran, who's living in the United States, I think he's really based, and that sort of thing. It depends. And I think when it comes to Pippa, going back to her interpretation of the royal family, like, and she's like watching these videos that are highly critical of them. I think a lot of do I think the like elements of the royal family are problematic? Yes, I don't like King Charles. I don't. I don't think like he's been involved in some really sordid things. I think Prince Harry's a bitch. Who should have married a racist tomboy from the South who would Americanize him instead of Meghan Markle. The thing is with Pippa, she doesn't understand the bad things that Meghan Markle has done, and sees oh, she's an American, oh, she's a victim of racism by the evil British, and think yeah, she's the good guy in all this, and like and she thinks that Markle was based, which she really isn't. Um, the thing is, my criticisms of the royal family come both as a criticism of monarchy in general, because I do think democracy and republicanism is a superior form of government, and the simple fact that Britain is an extremely dysfunctional country. You look at like how the U.S. is doing politically, how other countries like Canada or Mexico are doing politically. A lot of the like Britain as itself is an extremely broken country. Somehow even France is more functional than Britain. Britain considers itself a constitutional monarchy and it doesn't have a constitution. Like that's inherently like a lot of the problems like of the royal family are inherent to Britain as a thing. Even if they didn't exist, even if it was under like a dictatorship or a true democracy, it wouldn't work because like that's what I think of Britain. Like it was like we left because we saw that like and the America left and established our glorious republic, our like higher republic, because we saw those problems early. Washington and the founding fathers saw those problems early and decided to ditch them. because and that's not to disparage I think British people are very are it depends. They can be assholes, but the fun people like Lord Rexworth, Anglo VT, my male Oshi, Lord Mollington especially. I think he's a baller, and I like them, but they're willing to call out that the country is a shithole. I think from my recollection, Rexworth and Mollington are the only ones who live there, and both of them are trying to move out. Hold on, let me check chat. Bro, had that unk energy, Lamau. Pippa hates monarchy. My anarcho-monarchist heart cries. What does that even mean? I don't know. I just picked my ideologies based on how cool the name is. I'm in favor of a liberal dictatorship a liberal nationalist dictatorship under stratocracy. I'm just kidding, but I think all of those are cool. I don't know. I mean, you come from the only monarchy, the only European monarchy to have settled in the United. No, that's false. Mexico had a monarchy. Mexico had a monarchy. Canada is still technically a part of the Commonwealth, which places it under the British Empire and the British Crown. And Brazil, I know there was an emperor of Brazil who was previously emperor of Portugal, but he moved to He moved to Brazil after everyone voted him out of Portugal or something. Oh, bro had that unk energy. Yeah, he was Prince Philip was extremely racist, and he was really funny. You really didn't like the Chinese. He had a massive hate boner for the Chinese. You know how that boomers will make that joke about Chinese eating dogs? He was all over that joke. That's what Prince Philip was. I mean, he made look up his quotes about the Chinese. He's deeply funny. But yeah, and that. But going back to Pippa, I think yeah, I think and going back to the subject of the British in general. Of course, I as an American, I do believe we are the greatest country in the world. It is my country deserves the. I think God ordains kings in other countries, but for us, He decided to ordain an entire people to rule ourselves we're based like that. That's we could not have won without for all the unholy things we've done. We could not have won the American Revolution without divine help. I think, and I'm getting religious here too, but I don't know. That's my interpretation. And Felix, how could you say that? How could you say that? You're literally Filipino. They colonized you and invaded you. Yeah, well, look, the U.S. did a lot of bad things during the Philippine American War, but at the end of the day, my quality of life, my parents' quality of life, and my grandparents' quality of life are much increased because of the benefits of American colonialism. So, quite frankly, it was a good thing, and it was based. It was based. Thank you for calling. McKinley was it was but when Roosevelt came in and did his thing, yeah, there were some parts I disagree with, there were some other parts I do agree with, but you know what, Theodore Roosevelt, FDR was a different story. Theodore Roosevelt, extremely based person. I like Theodore Roosevelt. Liberal nationalist dictatorship is a pretty accurate description of Pippa's ideology. To be fair to Pippa, I don't think she has an ideology. I think she just I stereotyped her as in the past as being more left libertarian. I think Pippa doesn't care, and even both to her detriment and to her benefit. Good for her. Good for her. Good for Pippa. But when it comes to Pippa, but yeah, that's what I think. But and going back to the British and all of that, and all their the differences between their culture, I'm gonna say something controversial. I think the French aren't bad. I think because you see a law gets implemented in in Germany or in Germany or in the UK, and people will not care. A law gets implemented in the US, and one side gets really riled up over it, and we protest, and then like we don't do, and like whatever happens because of Congress. In France, they can pass a law unanimously in their parliament, and then the French people will attack everyone in the streets for 5 days until all of Parliament retracts the decision. That's I think I have my problems with the French Revolution and how things were conducted politically, but I think that aspect of France is something I really like about them. They're ballsy, they're pretentious assholes. Like as an American in France, they treated us like crap. Besides the ones that love tourists, they are really pretentious about American tourists in France when I did visit. But something I admire about the French, especially the working class French, is that they don't take shit from anyone, and they're willing to destroy everything in order to get what they want. They are willing to it's I feel like if French political culture combined with American gun culture, because America loves guns, but we're really really reluctant to use them outside of self-defense or hunting. We're really reluctant to use them because the last time we used them for their intended purpose, we had a civil war. But everyone thinks America is ooh, it's violent because there's guns. No, we politically we are extremely reluctant to use our guns. We have a lot of guns, but we are unwilling to use them because that's just who we are. I think that's our British side. Yeah, we don't want the government overstepping, and we're willing to shoot them if they do. But if they're not going to do that, then we're content with just sitting where they are because we don't want trouble and we don't want to start trouble. France actively looks for trouble. They are willing to they are willing to assault politicians in order to get what they want. I think that's really interesting. A really interesting aspect of France. You don't see that in Germany. You don't see that in the Scandinavian countries. You don't see that in Britain. You don't see that in Ireland either. It's uniquely confined to France and some parts of Spain. And I think Italy as well. Italy, France and Spain and that romance culture really fires them up and makes them willing to do unreasonable things. And I think America, as the claimant of the as the claimant of the successor of the Roman Empire, or the Roman Republic at least, are willing to do those things at least during the Revolution or during the Civil War or during the Cold Wars and stuff like that. We're willing to take what we want, and that aspect had to come from somewhere else, and it wasn't the British because I mean, Northern Ireland was pretty violent. They used that sounds like the years of lead on steroids. Well, it wasn't years of lead because the French didn't shoot anyone, except actually, I'm gonna go on a little mini rant. France has a wine mafia. There's an entire organized crime syndicate, a secret society slash mafia concerning French wine producers. One of their wineries was one of their champagne wineries was bought out by a Chinese corporation, and then the Chinese CEO plus the French chairman of the corporation got allegedly had their helicopter shot down by these people. They're insane. They do terrorist attacks. They bomb headquarters for not putting tariffs on foreign products. They go to rival wineries and they detonate bombs and they flood the streets with wine. It is and they force them to lose money. The people there are insane. You think the Italians are pretentious? The French are willing to back up their pretentiousness with blood. It's insane. They do crazy things. You never see that out of the British. They're all haughty. Oh, we burned your White House down once, and then they have nothing to show for it. Oh, we helped defeat the Nazis. It was American guns and it was American guns, American blood, and Russian blood that defeated the Nazis. But courtesy to the British though, for they were the first to fight, and I won't disrespect them for that, but using that as a point of pretentiousness against Americans, it's just so infuriating. And I feel the most tolerable of Canadians, of British, of Irish, of Australians and New Zealanders is like the most tolerable types of those people are when they're willing to admit that America is better than them. Like if they're not going to be pretentious and haughty or or criticize our culture for things, if they're willing to admit America is better than them, all of them are chill. All of them are chill. Like Mollington, Anglo VT, like all these British guys that are willing to like all these British male VTubers that are like interested in America and all that. All of them are really cool. You get influencers like Jolly and like the people that interview celebrities and make them try different foods. They're fun, and like the people that come over here from Europe to try our food. That like I like those. I like those guys a lot, and I think I'm big on internationalism and I'm big on peace, but not at the expense of like kowtowing to other countries. I think there should be more cooperation and peaceful diplomacy between countries, but not at the expense of our pride, because we're the greatest country in the world, and nothing's gonna change that. And if you want to change that, then come send your MiG 29s or Eurofighter Typhoons to Washington D.C. and see what happens to them. That's my opinion. That's my opinion, and that's me ranting. The willingness of the French people to stand up feels extremely schizophrenic. Yeah, they're off their rocker. They just do whatever. Like they just. I think one of the most base things they did is they tried to environmentally tax truckers and like taxis and all that. Oh, like and they put speed limits on certain cameras, and then like a coalition of like truck drivers and taxi drivers and like you think even Uber drivers got involved. The yellow vest protest. They went out. They got sledgehammers and they broke every single traffic camera and speed camera in the like around Paris. And I think that's like. I think that's incredible, and I think we should be willing to do that more. Like, even in the Balkans, they do that. Like, I think there was a story about a Bosnian man who retrieved like a Yugoslavian RPG-7 from under his, from his basement and shot down a security camera for it because he felt it was violating his privacy, and I think that's really interesting. But yeah, it's our guns came like our gun American gun culture is indigenous to America, but like at least it's natively to America, but our unwillingness to use them comes from the British. Comes like it really comes from that aspect of the world. They didn't destroy 60% of them. They destroyed the lot. Jeremy Clarkson. Yeah, that was from Top Gear that I remember. That I remember their statement that they just destroyed every single one of them, every single speed camera. The French are wild. They're assholes, but they're wild, and that's what I like about them. I think honestly, like my favorite countries in Europe, well, like speaking honestly, are probably Poland, Czechia, and Switzerland. Most is it because of gun culture? Yeah, because they have like they're the most willing to let their citizens own guns. But Poland and Switzerland are like probably the more stable people among the Europeans. They're the most reasonable among the Europeans when it comes to like culture and stuff going on. How long have I been going? How long has this train been going? Have I got? They also make weird cars. Oh, there's some French cars that I like. Most of them are terrible. I don't care what pretentious Europeans will say. I don't care what Top Gear will say. American cars are better than like especially like yeah you can buy premium with German cars, but like what's the point? Like I have mechanic friends and they hate Mercedes, they hate BMW because everything is proprietary. But that's the thing. That's the thing. I do remember. I know Kilroy's French Canadian. He's probably gonna come in here and. Uh, bro, your stream has lasted the entire. Not I'm over Iran. Hold on, let me check the news. Are we the what over Iran? Hold on, let me check the news. Iran. Oh. Oh, we're doing something. There's not okay, nothing is happening in Iran as far as I'm aware. They just closed their airspace, which is I think that's what Iran would normally do. What do you mean the what? There's nothing happening in Iran, like besides the protests and the revolution, like the counter revolution in Iran. I know that's going on. Besides that, I'm not gonna like. What do you mean the not M over Iran? What do you mean? Like there's nothing happening on the news. I'm not checking Twitter. It's I'm paying attention to my Steam engine. Hold on, have I gotten anything else? Any other achievements from this? Locked achievements. Speed Devil, apologize to ATG, project supporter, click all links. Be questioned by the void, hardcore steamer. Run the engine for 1 million revolutions, we're halfway there. Time for a rebuild and Steam Freak, 10 liters of water. 1 liter of water, I don't know what's going on, I don't know, we're keeping going. We're keeping this going. Ford and Chevy haven't made anything worth shit in my fucking lifetime. Toyota's week. Okay, fine. Japanese cars are better than American cars. I drive a Japanese car. I love my Japanese car. That being said, I am hoping that I am hoping that like the American auto industry can get better at some point. If when we get back to making sedans, they'll be really good. Trust me, okay? Trust me. When America makes sedans again, they'll be really, really good. Okay? They'll be really, really good. Trust me. And speaking of things America makes, there's a new tank. We have a new tank. There's a new M1 Abrams. The M1A3. There was a the chieftain talked about it. There's a new M1A3, which is gonna be, I guess, be relevant in the next stream because I'm playing War Pig, for COD 4 next stream. But War Pig, like, there's a new tank. I might pull it up later. The chieftain, Colonel Nick Moran talked about it. Hold on, let me go pull it up. Oh, that's lagged out. Hold on, give me a second. That window's lagged out. Let me go check on it. It does look really cool. I like the new tank. We have a new tank. M1A3. M1A3 Abrams. From the chieftain. We have a new tank. We finally have a new tank after decades. At the Detroit Auto Show. So it's in the Detroit Auto Show, the new tank. Clicker, they made the 1999 to 2004 Ford Super Duty, and the 2011 to 2016 Ford Super Duty, the 1998 to 2011 CV. Oh yeah, the new Brums. Yeah, there's a new M1 Abrams, and I like it. It's a smaller turret. Hold on, the Chieftain. I like the Chieftain. He's really cool. I'm into tanks as well as planes. I might do I want to do a tank episode of mechanical marvels at some point because tanks are really cool, just as cool as planes. And oh yeah, and they added a coffee machine. I think in the older Abrams they had a microwave. M1 Abrams microwave oven. Oh, so they don't have a microwave oven. So we do have a coffee machine. The British have had like a tea kettle relevant to the steam engine game. The British have had a tea kettle in their tanks for a long time, and this new M1 Abrams version is gonna have a coffee machine. But besides the integration of like new systems, there instead of the turbine engine, it's going to be hybrid electric. There's the gun is the same, the machine guns are the same, but it's going to have a remote weapon system that's designed to take down drones. And looking at the turret, they changed the angle of the turret, I think. Yeah, they changed the angle of the turret. They made it lower profile, but they added some sensors. But besides that, it looks very conventional. It's very conventional. It's very simple for a new tank. It's simpler than the M1A2. The M1A1 and the M1A2 look like they have everything on them. This one looks and feels like they simplified the Abrams, which is interesting. Hi Felix, how are you? Hey Riz, I'm running the steam engine, a coffee machine. Well, they said there's a plug. There's like a power. There's a power outlet inside the tank that in theory they can add a coffee machine. So I think that's what I think it's intended for the coffee machine. It's supposed to be used as like a universal socket, but yeah, they're gonna have a coffee machine in it. Yeah. Yeah, it's hybrid electric now, so there's like it's more fuel efficient, and yeah, I am wondering how the new armor profile on the turret and the hull is gonna be played out. I like there's gonna be thicker armor on the hull, but they changed the turret armor, which is making me a bit concerned because like some parts of it are pretty flat looking. But it is a lower profile than the M1A1 or M1A2, which is going to be like good for survivability. Yeah, a coffee machine. How long have I been going? Oh, an hour 24. Um, I'm gonna push it to maybe an hour 45, and then we're gonna a diesel electric, more like diesel trains and the Edison semi trucks. Oh yeah, those. Yeah, I think because it's the electric transmission, right? The on Terrible Artist. I think it has an electric transmission. Funny enough, electric transmissions on American tanks have been around for a while. They just it was trialed in World War II once, and then they trialed it during the Cold War once, and then they decided, you know what, this is too much work. The tank is going to be too heavy if we have if we have like an electric transmission. So they're finally like with the rise of EVs, they're finally implementing it now. They're finally implementing it into a tank. Like because all the previous electric transmissions have been terrible for the tank because they're too heavy. Felix, do you like electric cars? No. I am a big like I'm a big like I think there are uses for an electric car, but I wouldn't willingly own one. I much prefer my gasoline powered car. I would buy like a plug-in hybrid. I would prefer like a plug-in hybrid. I would prefer a hybrid that can charge itself on gasoline, that can charge itself off of combustion power. I would like the closest thing that you'll probably see me buying to an electric car would be a hydrogen fuel cell vehicle or something like that because I think EVs are terrible. I've ridden in them. I've been inside of a Tesla. I've ridden inside a Mustang Mach E, and they're terrible. The Tesla wasn't bad. The Mustang Mach E was a terrible vehicle. I hate the Mach E. It is like genuinely mediocre product, and not even mediocre. It's just plainly bad. It's just not a good product. Um, but yeah, that's my thoughts on that those are my thoughts on those. New heat profile and noise. Best defense is not being found. Electric car hate fucking waste of lithium. Yeah, it's like electric like why we haven't invested more in like because hydrogen storage hasn't been achieved yet. Everyone's in on EVs and like hybrids because no one has figured out how to store hydrogen yet. And I think hydrogen fuel cells are going to be better in the long run for cars. Like if you want a true gasoline one, I don't think we need a gasoline alternative. But if you do want one, then get a hydrogen fuel cells or something like that, some kind of fuel cell vehicle. Instead of a pure EV, because that's those are issues. Like I don't want to hate Tesla. But Tesla doesn't put out good product. I haven't been in a Cybertruck. I have only been in their sedan. I think the Model 3 or the Model S, but those were fine enough. But I've never driven one, and I think I don't like EV. I don't like EVs. Can we use EV technology in other things? Yes, but pure EVs are cancer on the automotive industry, in my opinion. Never mind hydrogen. We have ethanol and biodiesel. Yeah, I'm hoping that we have but like to reduce our dependence on fossil fuels. I do think biofuel should be invested in. The issue is ethanol is expensive, and so is biodiesel. At least most of them are. Algae fuel is also expensive. Like it's supposed to be very energy efficient, but it's also really expensive. Algae fuel. So that's like a problem, and we're going until we find a way to properly make biofuel cheap, then we're not gonna have a proper alternative to we're not gonna have a real alternative to gasoline. But fuck that. We have cars that run on natural gas here. Biodiesel sucks, huh? That I didn't know about. That I didn't know about. Why does it suck? Terrible artists. My dad thought that EV should be used for shorter distance purposes like delivery trucks. Delivery trucks and like the city commuter cars are the ideal form of EV, but anything that is meant to go outside of a city should not be considered should not be considered practical. Like I know people have taken EVs cross country before. I would never do that. Like the ideal, like if you're gonna have electric, then the best method for that is a plug-in hybrid that can run off of gasoline only, because everything else is just no. It's not gonna be fun, man. Like refueling so like recharging so often for so long is gonna be a problem. And only in areas where you have a constant source of electricity and infrastructure should you be driving an electric car. You should not be driving a Cybertruck outside of the city. You should not be driving a Cybertruck for outside of the city, outside of urban areas. Don't do that. It's a cancer to our electrical grid as well. Hi, last Sam. Yeah, that's fucking mean it sucks. Do elaborate. I do want to like terrible artist. I do want to know why you think biodiesel is like that. Yeah, fuck you mean it sucks. Yeah, I want to hear the explanation. Do you at least have an opinion on the Lucid Motors Air? Like it is fun. It is funny. I don't I have to remember what Lucid looks like. Hold on, the Lucid Motors Air. It gums up too much. Skill issue if your engines can't run on it. We've had this shit here since the 70s. It gums up too much, so it's like fouling, I think. The Lucid Motors Air. Lucid Motors Air. It looks like an electric car of all time. It's not like it's in like that same vein as Tesla, where it's like yeah, it's an electric car, but it's like there's nothing special besides about it. But I think that's better because having an electric car have nothing special about it is better than an electric car that has something special about it. So I think that's fine. Um, Literally no diesel motors can run on it, and plus it's not as rich as regular diesel. The Air is an EV sedan I like. Honestly, if I'm gonna pick it, like, if I like, it's funny because I like the style of Rivian. If you know what Rivian is, I like the style of Rivian, but I don't like the people who run it because like I think they're assholes. I think Rivian are assholes, but they make good looking cars, so that's complicated. Like as for EVs from major car companies, when Lima and I like before before our meeting in Miami, we met up somewhere else, and a lot of our discussions we're at the beach and like looking at the cars in the parking lot, and I noticed there was a Cadillac EV that looked really nice. That looked really nice, and I liked and like that one I liked. That one that is an aesthetic I can get behind. That being said, I wish it wasn't electric. The same with the new Hummer. Like it defeats the point of having a Hummer if it's going to be electric. It's like you that needs to be a hybrid at least. Like I think a hybrid Hummer would do a lot better. Like and the same with like the electric charger. No one wants an electric charger. Make it a hybrid if you want for more greater fuel efficiency, but do not make it all electric because that defeats the point of the car. Do not make it like a Cadillac. A big honking Cadillac should not be all electric. A Hummer should not be all electric. A Charger should not be all electric. It needs to have some kind of burning fuel inside of it that gives it that soul. And like I remember doing entire essays during like back when I was in college on why on why the car is a dying breed, and like motoring for the sake of motoring is a dying breed. And I love driving. I love going out, even if people can be insufferable on the road. I still like driving. I still enjoy it, even if it is just part of the commute. I still really like driving. The Air is an EV sedan I like, and it also can go very fast. That I didn't know. Let's see how far we're making it in this um 2023 I played this game. 2024 I played this game, tried and tested. Curiosity killed the cat. Steam Freak, time for a rebuild. Steam Fanatic. Curiosity Project supporter, click all links. Apologies to ATG. Speed Devil, we have not received there. Time for a rebuild. Hardcore Steamer, we are like, once we hit Hardcore Steamer, I think we should end off. That being said, I'm not sure. Actually, what else? What else do I have to talk about? Funny enough, I guess, like, positive news regarding my parents, which I guess was relevant to the Call of Duty stream. Out of nowhere on, I think it was, out of nowhere on it, I think, was it on Monday? Was it on Monday? No, it was, think it was on, think it was on Sunday. Out of nowhere, my dad asked me, because he's a lot more approachable to, like, I think my family's becoming a lot more approachable to firearms now, which is looking good, because we've never owned firearms before. But I've taking my dad out shooting has given him, like, at least some level of interest in firearms, and, well, which is fun. He's asking me stuff about, like, I gave him a Browning high power when we went to Las Vegas, to Battlefield Vegas. I gave him the Browning high power. Now he really wants it. So I've been showing him stuff from Springfield. Normally, Springfield isn't a company I really like. Same with Gearsan. But, like, if he buys it from Gearsan or Springfield, I'd be really happy. So, like, he liked that. He likes the Beretta. Most of us have agreed that, like, the Glock is gonna be fine for us. He isn't used to. I haven't introduced him to enough long guns yet. I need to take him long gun shooting, and I need to take my mom shooting in general, because to my recollection, she's never held a firearm. But if I'm willing to convince her to go out and do that, that'll be a, like, big positive for the family. Big positive for the family. And since I can't copy paste, I sent the sci-fi comment in DMs, lol. Oh, no, my Discord is off because I think it interferes with this game. The boiler pressure is still decreasing, but we're holding speed. Oh, hold on, we've been going at this for a while. But anyways, yeah, that's been going on. I think, hold on, how far in with the with that distance achievement? 720, but 70,244 out of 100,000. For how many revolutions? It's still going. That operating rod is jiggling. It's jiggling aggressively. Hold on, the like, I haven't, the BGM hasn't been playing for a while. Let's put the BGM back on. Can you use the phone? Yeah, I can use the phone. Can't go wrong with a Benelli. Well, the thing is, like, I like the Benelli. I like the Benelli Nova from Counter-Strike, but Sheena had one, and then she somehow managed to shoot it so much, she jammed the pump, and she had an entire stream of her cleaning it, because Sheena shot it so much that she, or, like, just refused to clean it, that she jammed the pump. There was so much gunpowder residue left in the shotgun that she could not work the action, which is insane. And then she had to request, like, the old boomer, the old FUD at the range to help her, because she could not get the pump unstuck, which is interesting. I've shot a Remington 870. I like the Remington 870. I guess in canon for character, Felix's loadout is Car 15 variant, SPAS 15 variant, Beretta 92 and 1911. Beretta 92 and 1911 for daily carry, and then for tactical situations, what I call the Children Mars, I carry the Car 15 and the SPAS 15 for specific cleanup work. Will that be expanded on? I think I've mentioned it a few times in the past, but yes, I do have lore. I do have a kayfabe. I do have stuff like that, but you know, the steam copter has been going on for so long. We're halfway through Siberia. Apparently, it's not enough for the achievement. We're going around the world in 80 days, but they never leave the train. around the world in 80 around the world in 80 days, but they never leave the train. Um, hardcore steamer. We're still going. Um, hold on. Let's see. Let's see if my phone. Let's see if my phone still has liquid in the charging port. Oh, hold on. It's not charging. Why isn't it? Oh, I think. Oh, so I am able to plug that in now. Your lowest, your lowest two white women roasted your tiger on a quest for revenge. To like, okay, Urika is not a white woman. She's yellow woman. But that, to be honest, I did find a solution to shortening the tie. I did find a solution to how to shorten the tie, which looks good. Which looks good now. But yes, Clanker, I do have lore. Unlike Seki, who does not have lore, I do in fact have lore. I just don't have I don't have a way to act it out. Or like I've only acted it out a few times, and I like there isn't much methods for me to express that lore. I do in fact have lore, and it goes deep because there's a cinematic universe involved. In typical like this is what happens when you let like a world building writer get in charge of like VTuber, like a wannabe PNG tuber or a wannabe VTuber. Oh, right, it was Urika. Yeah, it was Urika. It was Urika and Lumi. This train is going. This train is really going places. Oh wow, that really affected the pressure. Oh, we're rapidly. Oh, that's going haywire. Oh, what's going on? I think I might have I might have finally thrown something haywire in the train because we're engine speed is still holding, but water temperature. Yeah, the pressure is off, but we're reducing speed there. Anyways, you know what? Hold on. I'll go back to to the dream journal because I'm still remembering that clip from um Lava Girl and like Shark Boy and Lava Girl about the dream journal. Zooey Mama. Are you planning another lore stream this February? Yes. That being said, I plan to have one. The thing is, I haven't planned what it's gonna be about. Which I am in a bit of a mental block at the moment, but hopefully I can get that unstuck and like get that moving again. Zooey Mama, because it was fashion related. I thought it was Leah. No, it was in fact yeah, Urika and Lumi. But going back to that thing that I had that I was like in my brain earlier. Train system akin to one older woman, and then panel opens. They were having some kind of conversation. Conversation going on. Going on. We get into. Yeah, I'm talking about the dream again. We get into this dune buggy akin to a car, to a akin to a car. Um, our argument happens. Our argument happens between the parents and the is and several officials and police slash soldiers of. I'm trying to remember. There was a name. Like there was a full on faction name in my dream of like the people that controlled the moon, of the people that controlled the moon. Um. So pressure is holding, but we're still Hold on. How long have we been talking for? It's 10 p.m. Not AM got renewed. Felix got to stream until 7 a.m. Oh man, it's like I said I was gonna go until like like 1 minute 45 minutes. We're on 1 minute 43. So I'm gonna outline what happened in the dreams, and then I'm gonna end off because this is going on for a while. Hold on, are we decreasing speed? No, we're not. It's just the I think because there's so little frames. There's so little frames of the of the wheel turning here in the there's so little frames of this wheel turning. It looks like it's turning slower than it actually is. You gotta stream until 10 p.m. But yeah, that going on. There was a faction. I think was it the United Colonies and was it the United Lunar Colonies? That's the name I'm coming up with. United Lunar United Lunar Colonies. I think that's what it was called. Like or something about. I think that what they actually said was centuries. The United Lunar Centuries or something. Not centuries, centuries as in like the 100 years. But I'm like I don't know. Colonies centuries. Apparent. Apparently the parents are enemy spies of some kind. And the we I the children and the older woman in the back seat of the buggy while the parents dismount and pull out rifles. Right, all of us are wearing spacesuits. By the way, all of us are wearing quick activate suits over our normal clothes, and then from that I remember gunfight. This is like with regular guns, not with lasers or anything. Gunfight occurs. Um, you, ULC true. I miss my wife, Felix. Is your wife Rosemi? Is your wife Rosemi? ULC troops return fire. We have a this is probably sounding really schizophrenic, but I'm literally recounting the details of the dream. We have a remote control an RC or remote control weapon system machine gun pop out of our roof, and you'll see has guns pop out of the sides. Uh, uh, Miraculously, an entire wall of the superstructure we're in slides open, and then the buggy, and then we ram the enemy, but we ram the enemy buggy. Then the parents climb back in, and we drive out onto the lunar surface. And then the scene shifts because like I say, in between transitions and dreams, the scene always shifts. Sometimes the scene shifts, and like you find yourself in a completely different area. Um and the scene shifts. The scene shifts, and then oh, I flash forward, and uh, I'm on this open air transport transport air open aerial transport back on Earth. It's hovering over this over these vast. It's hovering over these like vast, like really big dunes. Yeah, it looks like a scene out of Dune, but there's like a dead forest in front of us. What's up, Felix? Hey, Anthofool. I'm just like I'm running a Steam engine in the background while I describe the dream that happened to me earlier. Describe this dream that happened to me earlier. It's how us hovering over these vast reddish orange reddish orange sand dunes. It looks like the it looks like the Jabba barge, the the Jabba barge from Star Wars, but without a roof, and we're high enough. We're below the clouds, but high enough over the the desert floor. We're below the clouds, but we're high enough over the desert floor that you can see for like, almost a mile downwards. For at least half a mile downwards. We're approaching this massive dead forest of. We're approaching this like massive dead forest in the distance on the horizon. The dead forest of what looks like ginseng root. Yeah, have you guys ever seen a ginseng root? That's what these things looked like. The ginseng root looks mixed with a jellyfish. Jellyfish. Apparently, according to the guide, according to the conductor of this vessel, they're mushrooms, and we're flying over Morocco. I think that's what it is. We're flying over. It's like this is somehow we're back on Earth and we're flying over Morocco, and it's full of these like forest of things. This forest below us. Morocco apparently. Mostly everyone on the barge, besides me, the flying vessel, besides me, are pretty old or middle-aged. And that's the earlier dream. And then earlier than that was hold on. Yeah, another dream again last night. The one previously, before this one, it was this, I remembered a lot more details. I keep these in my mind for a while. I can't, it was a lot simpler, but I was explicitly in, like, this Gold Source version of Gmod. You ever have dreams where you're inside of a video game? That happens a lot for me. Either it's, like, Minecraft or Gmod. Of Gary's mod. Gold Source version of Gary's mod. Have this inventory lurking and jumping around. Around this cramped map of yellow rocks. Have this inventory. There's like I had like several guns in the inventory, but like the ones that weren't were the gravity gun and I think this long stick, and I can't remember much else. I know there was someone else involved, but I can't remember much else. Mm. A gravity gun. Dreamland, yeah. I know this is like sounding really weird and schizophrenic right now, but then like I'm just like recounting what's happening in my mind. Mm, Stick. Someone else in a black suit and sunglasses was there, but excuse me, but not the G-Man, who looked younger, looked a lot younger. Um, something was doing something. I was doing something to interact with the map. To interact with the map and can't remember much else. The previous one was this was a really intense one that I had on Sunday. Really intense one that I had during like an afternoon nap on Sunday. This one affected me. Um this one affected me, and this is the one that I wanted to talk about on Monday because this one was a full on nightmare. Um This one was a full on nightmare. This I can give this one isn't just me rambling, but I can remember it fully. So, I was at this like luxury winter home. It clearly rented, has like woods in the back. I think there was implications of snow, but the snow appears and like disappears and reappears in between shots. Yes, this is a dream. There are shots and like camera angles in a dream. The family and I are watching some kind of nature documentary, and I noticed there's an Australian opossum in a cage on a shelf near the rear entrance, and it's alive. And I don't bring it up because I expected it to be an American possum because we're in the U.S. Um, let alone not one in such an odd place in a poor state. Yeah, like I was like it's cruel to let that thing in the cage. I wanted to let it out. And the scene shifts, but within that same location. I noticed family members who weren't there before, and the house is full of people, and it's singing for a party. This is all a reference to, not a reference, but I told you guys about that engagement party that I attended for my cousin in Miami, and it feels like it's a memory of that. It's a memory of that. Um, I sit down for a while to process things while cousins sit next to me. I ask people around what happened. Oh, what happened? What happened? And something I remember, despite this, the opossum, which is alive, has not moved. Me, this, and neither has the time, and neither has the time of day, early sunset. Um, 6 o'clock dark. Well, neither was the time, which was 6 o'clock dark. And speaking of clocks, there was one of the people I saw, which is supposed to be based on another person, which was supposed to be based on a real person, but I couldn't remember the face. They had it was a woman, and she had a clock, like a small, like a watch face, like a large watch face sized clock embedded in her chest. Like I don't know why, but that was part of the dream. Um, oh, hold on, it didn't edit. Um, It's 6 o'clock dark. One of the people there, girl, had a low, revealing a clock, a large watch face-sized clock with a glass face. uh, with a in her chest. And then after that, I decided to get my bearings. I would go outside. In order to get my bearings, I went outside. I went outside alone. Oh, despite being able to clearly see my surroundings, because like if I'm talking weird, it's because I'm writing this down at the same time. I'm typing this down at the same time. My surroundings felt pitch dark. I look overhead and there was like fireworks happening, kind of like, and I saw a large firework rocket. Mm, mm, Large firework rocket streak alongside others, and despite that, it made no noise. Yeah, the firework, like there was this really bright firework above us, kind of like a New Year, but it made no noise. Um, oh, we hit the 2 hour mark. It made no noise. Um, a large firework rocket streak, and then so there was a silhouette of a paraglider paraglider in the sky. There was a paraglider in the sky, like right under the firework. Um, wa- walk outside. I went outside alone, and by the way, like for some reason, despite the villa and like the rest of the dream being within this sort of being within this like sort of fictionalized home, like for constructed from the dream, the rest of the neighborhood is seemingly a recreation of my own in my head. So I'm not going to give details about that, of course, but it's that seemed interesting to me, and my neighborhood street. Walk outside. Oh, continue walking outside. There's an old couple walking their dog who says I'm the only one else who's out. Despite this, I see several other people walking outside and investigating. And then the wind picks and most of us decide to go back home. So the wind picks up really strongly. Most of us decide to go back home in the dream. And then finally, her dog, one in shouts and looks up, and everyone outside, including me, looks up. And then this is the part that like really jump scared me. So there was this dark figure looming over us. This like dark figure looming over us, of a guy just like of this limp this like completely slack humanoid figure that's completely dark. Like, but we can see it despite the lack of light. Um, completely dark. He yaps. Yeah, complete figure looming over us, and then like I'm instantly frightened. I'm instantly frightened, and like my mind either goes to to like a ghost or the Void from Marvel. My and then upon closer inspection, so I look closer and I realize like there's an explanation. The dead body is like the body is attached to a parachute, and then the paraglider that I had seen just minutes earlier was dead above us. And then I woke up in a start. Like I woke up, I just like that's when I woke up. Inspection, and I woke up in a start. And wake up startled. But yeah, that like sat that didn't like that's like one of the first night like I like that was an odd nightmare to have, but still it was like really intense, really like it really caught me off guard. Especially like taking it like having a nap, like having it in a nap of all things. But yeah, that startled me really badly. Anyways, like I think that's mostly it. Hold on, let's see who else there is to raid because I guess I covered a lot of topics. I didn't expect to like for this to be a long stream at all because of like the nature of it. I thought it would be short, and I was late. It was short, but let's find someone else. It's almost 9 o'clock where it is. Um. Cleo is live. Is Pippa still live? Is Pippa still live? Let's see her raid. No, she's not live anymore. She was trying Surströmming with like a Finnish girl. Let's see who I can raid. Dax T. Crowley, Amanda Splats, Carrie, Sheena. Oh, Sheena's playing Cyberpunk, so I might send you guys into there. Obake Pam, there's Tomoe, um, there's SS Issa, Amanda Calamity, Iori, you know what? I think I'm just gonna raid straight into Sheena. She's not gonna notice or anything. She's not gonna notice or anything, but yeah, like I do want to see that stream. Okay. Thank you I do have to keep this quiet because I know there are people near me. Thank you everyone who came. Otsu Love. I will see you next Thursday for more Call of Duty. Thank you everyone who came. Thank you Clanker. Thank you Clanker. Thank you Terrible Artists. Thank you Clanker. Thank you Terrible Artists. Thank you Dantiok. Thank you The Last Zam. And thank you Last Sam. Thank you Big Yike. Thank you where is he? No, thank you Rez. And thank you if where is thank you Ant the Fool. Hold on. And thank you Ant the Fool. Thank you everyone who came. Otsu Love, and I will see you next time. Terrible Artist, that is blatantly false. So don't spread misinformation.